Well, today we're going to do a project to put igniters into our stove. Now, if you've got one of the ones with the oven down below, then you have a automatic igniter on yours. But when I've got mine, it's the Suburban top part, and it requires you to use one of these little deals here to light your burners, which is fine. But if you're like me and you like to do gadget projects, then this is not that hard of a deal, or at least I don't think so. I'm starting it now. But someone on the Facebook page, John Crick, I think it is, he did this project, and he actually was nice enough to provide the Amazon links for what you needed, and I will leave that in the comments on this video. Basically, it takes a grill igniter like this. It has at least 3 outputs, and you have to order these sparking devices here that plug into that. And this one came in a 4-pack. Basically, this was about $10, and this is about $10 so for about $20 you can have self-igniters put in here if you if you have to do stuff on your own. So like I said, this is not necessary to do this, but if you just like to fiddle around and do this, it can be done. Hopefully not too hard. I did have to go to Lowe's and buy some of this plumber's strap. I'm going to use that to make my braces for my actual igniters, where they go up on each burner. And then I'm going to bring this out the front here and have it to where you basically push the button on the outside here, and it'll ignite all 3, of course, whatever burner you have turned on. Okay, the first step, and I've already done a little bit here. You gotta take out your burner pieces here, and there's 2 screws right here and here that I've already taken out. Take that out, and that pretty much loosens this whole section up, and then you need to pop your knobs off. You just get something under here and pop each one off, and then this whole piece should lift up. So that's where we'll get to now and see what we got to work with. And you'll see this is what we're working with. So what we're going to have to do now is take a piece of this metal here and bend it up to where it comes from the base up to this burner on each one of these. And you have a nut that comes in from the bottom here. We'll try to use that same nut and come up here without having to drill any more holes. So we'll see how that works out. So using my plumber's hangers, I used a pair of pliers and bent this into a Z. Here you see this is where it's going to mount at the bottom, and I bent it up here, and I had to use a 3/8 bit in order to drill a hole for the actual spark piece to fit inside of here. Then I also took a pair of snips and just kind of cleaned this edge up a little bit so it wouldn't have sharp corners on it. So we're going to go upstairs and try this first one out. If that works out good, then we're going to multiply that by 3, and we'll have all 3 of our burners set up. Now you'll see after I threaded that in, it's pretty close tolerance there. You could go with a little bit bigger bit if you wanted to, but I had to thread that in. And I'm threading all the way down toward the bottom. That gives this wire a little bit of room at the bottom. So you'll see what I did there. So on each one of these there's a nut attaching that burner. So what I did is I loosened that nut up. I slid my piece over top of that. I'm going to thread that down, and I'll get my adjustment as far as how close I want it to get to the burner. And then I'll cut the igniter off to where, and bend it in to where it is close to where the gas comes out. So after experimenting with several different pieces, my first one was way too low, because what happens when you put the metal piece back on here, that's going to arc up against that metal piece. So I've got to bring this insulator piece right up against the base of that burner. So we've got to extend it. So if you've got this tied, I guess that's about, it looks like it's really 1, 2, 3, about 3.5, 4 inches long. But you can see it's, in my case, I need to have 4 holes. And then when it's bent, it looks kind of like this. 1 hole down, 1 hole up, 2 holes to the side. And I'm going to go downstairs and drill this top hole for that spark device. So there, they're all 3 drilled. We'll go up and fit them up, see how they work. When you're putting these electrodes in, you need to make sure that you get the insulated part above, or right even, or a little bit above, right at the bottom of the burner, and as close as you can, because you don't have much clearance between the piece that goes up on here, the cover piece, so you don't want it arcing from here over to the cover piece. And then I've got a gap, a little over 1/4 gap on each one, and might have to adjust that. We'll just have to see how that works. But what I've done now is I've put my brackets in, tighten down the nut. I've done 2 of them. Get my 3rd one done, and we'll test it out. Works good. Then we'll go ahead and mount the piece on the front for the igniter. So I'm testing it out now. Got all 3 of them in. The key is to make sure you get this insulator above this metal here on each side. And here we go. So it looks like it's working pretty good. So what I'm going to do is use this knockout here. I'm going to take this knockout out. I'm going to clean the edges up and put some tape around that way it won't cut the wires going through. It'll go through and then come up to the front edge I've already measured. They're just about right length for that. Okay, I'm going to put the igniter switch in the front. You can see I've ran my wires through the hole in the back. And what you want to do here is you want to put it as close to the edge as you can to clear your metal on the inside of here. And you also have to have enough for your button that's going to go on there to make sure it clears. So we're going to put about that area right there. This takes a 7/8 drill bit to do that. So we're going to drill through that and install our switch. Okay, I got my hole in there, and you'll see this has a jam nut. I'll take that jam nut off and put it in from the outside and put the jam nut on through there and push it through. Okay, there it is. We'll put the battery in for it and screw the cover on. There you have it. Well, looks like we're pretty well done. Test it out here real quick. There we go. There it goes. And you may have to adjust a little bit. I think that one there's going to be put a little bit closer. It takes a little bit too long, so I'm going to adjust that a little bit. We should be good to go. Well, that's our latest project here. And like I say, that doesn't necessarily have to be done. You can always use a lighter stick. But I just thought for 20 bucks I'd give it a shot. Took about 2-3 hours to do at the house. And that was with me trying to figure out what I was doing, so I think it's worth it. If you have any more comments to add to this video or questions, just put them in the comments and we'll see you on another video.